How's it going, everyone? Got both cars here today, and I'm here to address something that kind of been getting recently, and it's people wanting to upgrade their front suspensions on their classic or just old cars. And I'm gonna sit here today and talk about both of them and compare the two. So I just want to start off by saying my dad's car, all stock suspension. Nothing is upgraded other than just a 1 1/8 sway bar and some new Scott Drake shocks that I think he must have put on back in the day. I didn't build any of this, I'm just maintaining the car. And that's the deal with Dad's car. With my car, it's got a full Scott's Hot Rods independent front suspension kit with the All American shocks and the, I believe they're 11.5 or 11-inch Willwood disc brakes, and a custom front sway bar that I built myself because of tire clearances and whatnot. Can't get under the frame and all that. So let's get into it. And after driving these cars for quite a while here, the biggest thing that I've picked up on after all that experience is handling. This car obviously pretty much drives like a Cadillac. Super soft suspension, really soft springs, not really responsive other than the sway bar giving it some help, but nothing too comfortable that I want to drive every day. The new front suspension handles like it's on rails. Now, the most common thing that I hear is that people don't like buying all this stuff because they don't want to go racing, or it's not a race car, or it's not going to perform or anything. It's not really about that. This car is handling 1,000 times better than that one, and it did stock. And it's, like I said, it's a night and day difference. But these race car parts and everything that I installed on this car are definitely worth its weight in gold. And one, handling, and now two, ease of maintenance. You can easily get up here and adjust your shocks. Like I said, you can get in here and adjust your caster and your camber, everything you need. You know, it's worth it. And even if you don't have all this open engine bay, it's as simple as taking a wheel off and getting in there, adjusting your shocks. If you want to change your coil springs out or your spring rates and whatnot, you can just take them off. Two simple bolts. You don't have to mess with any pocket springs or nothing like that. It's worth its weight in gold. And number three, I'm kind of going to go back to handling. The Mustang 2, or I guess any just regular basic rack and pinion steering box, is handling 1,000 times better than that. It's a lot more responsive. It's a lot easier to work on if you ever need to take it out or replace it or anything. And the power steering racks I've seen are definitely easy and simple and not super complex like the power steering spring or shocks that they have in the basic stock Mustang stuff and whatnot. So you don't have to worry about any of that. It's just as simple as 2 bolts, your tie rod ends, and your U-joints. It's all basic and simple, nothing super complicated. And to be honest, doing some motocross testing lately, I definitely will need to go upgrade to power steering, so I might upgrade to a Woodward rack and possibly my own reservoir and things like that nature. But like I said, if you want just something super basic, if you want it to handle, and if you're going to drive it every day, this is the most important thing. If you're going to drive these cars every day, I would definitely spend the money and get a kit like Scott's Hot Rods, or Art Morrison has a good kit as well, but I'm going to stand by Scott's all day and go with what they got. I've seen all their kits, their chassis, everything. I would spend the money, and I'm going to be honest, you got to cry once, but it's worth its weight in gold. And it's something that I want to put on each and every one of my cars that come in the shop for full builds or any personal car. I told myself if I ever have extra time and space, that car is going to get these jeans. So, like I said, the upgraded Scott's Hot Rods, Mustang 2, or just rack and pinion front end kit is worth it and can compare a lot better to the old stuff. Now, with all that said, obviously, love the kit, love the way Scott's designed it, all super good quality TIG welds, minus my rust that I've been neglecting to pay it. Ignore that. Love their kit, the old stuff. If you're gonna drive your car and you want to take it out and not have it sit in the garage and polish it with a diaper once a year, then upgrade to this stuff. In my opinion, that's where I would invest my money if I was to buy a classic car. The one thing I'm going to address is that when you are looking for a quote-unquote Mustang 2 front end, or just a rack and pinion front end, I would heavily avoid the cheap eBay kits and the Speedway kits. I love Speedway and I love all that they have to offer, but I gotta say, Scott's and Art Morrison and Roadster Shop and all these guys, that's where you're gonna want to invest. I've dealt with those Speedway kits, the pocket spring kits, and I've gotta say I'm not really impressed, and you're gonna be spending triple what you initially spent and more than what these kits would cost plus installation if you were to get those pocket spring kits, and I'll explain with a few pictures here. So this is a 34 Ford that I did a while back. Customer supplied me with just a cheap basic Mustang 2 front end kit with pocket springs and kind of ran into some trouble. Got the kit mocked up and everything. Everything looked okay with the exception of a few porous welds and whatnot, and just nothing good. Not really the greatest quality. So after putting together all the A-arms and everything and trying to get the springs to compress, I realized that a lot of the geometry was way out of whack and super wrong. So what I did here was cut out the old pocket spring mounts. I hit up QA1, got a set of 12-inch single adjustable coilovers and made my own coilover mounts. Got everything in where it needed to be, everything looked correct, everything was great, and ultimately cost double what he wanted to pay. So I highly recommend to avoid these pocket spring kits. Do yourself a favor, spend the extra money, get the Scott's Hot Rods kits or the Art Morrison, whatever you want to do. But the double tubular A-arm, the coilovers, disc brakes, etc., it'll save you a lot of hassle in the long run. So just got to be careful with where you're going to invest into a front end kit. Like I said, definitely go to Scott's Hot Rods. I believe they're out of Tennessee, and really great product, good customer service. They're really responsive. They got all the parts there. They have everything available if you want to replace it. And like I said, it's worth it 1,000%. Shout out to Scott's Hot Rods for building such a great kit. This is not a paid advertisement or anything. I just want to show my appreciation for the great products. And yeah, so thanks guys for watching, and hope to see some new content with the cars soon. So stay tuned.